Good. All right, we're live, fellas. Going live.
Just had it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Forestry and Sawmill Roundtable. I think I got that right. Tonight we have Kyle from K&J Lumber joining us. This is Kyle's second time here. Kyle's very knowledgeable. If you watch their videos, they have a lot of teaching videos out there. And if you're not a subscriber to K&J Lumber, go to YouTube and check them out and subscribe. Welcome, Kyle. How you doing?
How you doing, guys?
We're doing good.
Thanks for having me.
You had a very interesting video a week or so ago about the emerald green ash borer beetle.
Yeah, green emerald ash borer beetle, the EAB for short.
Yeah, I found that video very, very interesting.
Yeah,
That's good to hear. Yeah,
Now, I
there's
know that- Go ahead.
no, go ahead. Do you have a question or?
I was going to say, I know they turned the wasp loose to try to deal with the beetle. And you were saying that it didn't work in the older trees because the wasp couldn't get through the heavy bark.
Yeah, those wasps that they tried back in the teens, the 20 teens. They're also an Asiatic wasp that didn't have in it. They have what's called an ovipositor, which is kind of like a little drill that gets into the drills into the bark to get into the first part of the tree, essentially the cambium layer. I'm trying not to use too big of words. I know how you guys are.
Thanks. We appreciate
Anyways,
it.
yeah, so those it drills through the bark to get into the part where the green emerald ash borer beetle is kind of laying, where the eggs are kind of where they lay, and so they can't get to that layer of bark, because usually bark's anywhere from like at least a quarter inch or at least an inch thick, and that ovipositor, that little drill that the wasps have, is like less than a quarter inch, so it can't get through that bark to get into the layer. So it worked for very young ash trees, saplings all the way up to a few years. But once the bark starts getting thicker than that quarter inch, it's rendered useless, basically. So, that happened to be, if I remember correctly, that happened to be when those older trees are the ones that are more mature, that the seeds come from and such. If I remember correctly, I'm not an expert at this, but I'm just kind of reporting. I'm reporting on what I've learned so far. So that was the first problem that we had, and I talked with Dr. Robert Blanchett, Dr. Robert Blanchett from University of Minnesota. I wanted to interview him for this episode. Because I came across a New York, no, it was a St. Paul Times or whatever article about this new plan that they had going on. So I kind of did a little bit of research, found out where he found his email, reached out to him, and he said, we're doing the tests right now for this new method, which involves a fungus, the Bovaria bassiana fungus. I cannot believe that I just remembered that. That is amazing. Bovaria bassiana fungus. Yeah, so it's a pretty cool process. They use this fungus in this weird looking trap. I wish I had gave you guys some pictures. Maybe you could have put it up as B-roll, but there's a really cool trap that that the emerald ash borer beetles, and they put it up in the canopy of the tree. It's not necessarily that far down. They have to climb all the way up into the top part of the tree so that when the male, I think it's the male, anyways, it goes through that little trap. It's weird conical looking trap that has different whatever, and it kind of dusts the EAB with this new fungus or whatever, and then they go and they mate with the opposite sex, and then it really just kind of, have you guys ever seen or heard of the television show The Last of Us? No.
Sounds
Well,
familiar. I don't believe we've seen it.
it's a fictional show about a fungus that creates zombies. Now this fungus is similar to other fungus. There's ants that this happens to, and anyways, it basically kind of just freezes them in time. It takes over the body. It's like a cordyceps. It takes over the body, and it will basically kill them off from before they can even lay eggs, which is a really cool process. I'm still learning more about it, But anyways, yeah, this fungus, they have test traps all over Minnesota, at least this area within the quarantine zone. And they're going to be, they say, Dr. Robert Blanchett says that they're going to find out the results sometime in the late fall, early winter is when we'll know more. And then I'll interview him more, and then we can find out if this solution actually works. Now, keep in mind though, we're playing with fire here. I mean, we're raising more questions, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We got this new fungus, and what are the unintended consequences of this new fungus that they're releasing? Like, that's something that I didn't even think about it, and a lot of people brought that up in the comment section of the video. They're like, and I thought it was funny. They're like, yeah, I can't wait to find out the unintended consequences of this. No, it's not that. It's not that.
That's the trap.
It's not that. It's I mean, it could be. That could probably be an early one. If you did a little more search, it's green, and it looks like a bunch of.
Oh yeah, I got that one too. Yeah.
Put together. Yeah. So yeah, that test. So we're gonna find out more, and hopefully we don't get no unintended consequences, because we've seen that before with those aphids, those Asiatic beetles.
Right.
They released those Asiatic beetles to kill
Oh
all
my
the
God.
aphids, and now here we are getting tormented by all of them.
Yeah.
So that should be fun. You know what I'm saying, gentlemen?
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
They're nasty.
Yeah, every year they come out.
Yeah, that first picture you put up, John, was traps. They had those all over the place. I think they were to find out where the beetle was actually active. I know we had one close to our property.
Yeah, the traps. Yeah, those ones. Those traps, I think they were created in a Canadian company made them. And of course, they licensed them to the University of Minnesota and the state of Minnesota. And I'm not exactly sure what Wisconsin, because I mean, if you look at a map, if you could possibly bring up a map of all the emerald ash borer beetle, of the zones that it has currently infestated, it is all across the eastern side of the United States. It's supposed to be across the eastern side of the United States, and all the way down. Literally, it's like a radius around Detroit, Michigan, where they first thought this beetle first came over in packing material from China. So yet another gift from China we got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another gift.
Keep giving.
If anybody's got any questions for Kyle, pop them up there and we'll throw them up on the screen. We want to welcome everybody that's joined us so far. I see a lot of the guys that normally come on with us are here, Chris and Steve, Brett. One thing too I wanted to ask Kyle is everybody saying and speculating lumber prices are going to go through the roof. Do you think that too, or?
Actually, I don't know if you guys remember, I did do a video on lumber prices earlier this year. Do you guys see my video that I published earlier this year about lumber
I saw
prices?
the video.
And of course, I was vindicated. A lot of them have been skyrocketing since then. I haven't really looked at a graph, but I've seen that article about how they're, skyrocketed or going up. I mean, it's all speculative, really. I mean, I could tell you it's going to go further or not. I do have a little bit of knowledge of, the stock market and, candlestick charts. And I definitely know how to lose money in the stock market. That's for sure. So,
Don't we all?
I'm pretty good at that. I'm pretty good at that during 2020, and
Now you have
The
to take
old,
your own advice. Always hire a professional. That's why you use a financial planner and not a sawmill guy for investment.
yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah, you're right. But there are some. The only reason why I even made that video in the first place is a prediction. I even kind of had a disclaimer saying, I'm not a financial advisor. But I mean, the signs were clear. I mean, I know charts a little bit. I know when I see a squeeze, wedge in a shape in a chart, that means it's going to go one of two ways. And we were already at lower prices at the time.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it was just kind of a no-brainer with all the news of, tariffs happening, and then Canadian lumber companies already retooling their machines to cater to Asian markets instead of, United States markets, which could be a good thing. If Canada's lumber mills are going to Asia, then that opens up the possibility of, American mills producing American lumber here in the United States.
Absolutely.
We don't.
Kyle,
we
you
don't
want to answer that question there up on the screen?
We don't need to build houses.
Do
here.
any of you apply? Oh, since you're on the topic, do any of you apply anything to keep bugs and critters off your stacked and stickered wood? That's that might be a better question for my partner in crime, Kendall. He just called me and said he's going to be an hour late, so I doubt we'll even see him tonight.
I've heard people using a borax solution on their wood.
Yeah.
I have. You guys know I've done some videos on wood preservatives, and right now we're testing out. We're doing all kinds of tests. Actually, it's very nice. Think about it. We're doing a bunch of secret tests that I haven't even announced. So there's other videos that are in the works. And then we did an update on the stuff that we already used, and we tested out the borax. However, I'm not confident in it because I probably should have did an ounce of research on actually how to do it. Because borax is supposed to work. And then online I've seen that if you mix it with antifreeze, but some people are saying that you got to heat it up so that it breaks down the boric acid in the borax, along with the antifreeze, and you got to use real antifreeze too, not the RV, the safe stuff that I use.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be a little more, safer for kids, pets, whatever. Anyways, I recommend now looking back, whenever I make a video, I get people in the comments, and then they tell me something that's so obvious that can't believe I didn't think of it before. I'm only a one-man team really. Kendall kind of helps a little bit, but he's out there cutting wood all day. So I'm in here. I'm the one in here actually writing the scripts for the videos and everything. And he,
So
I mean, he brought up a good point that, you know, instead of using borax, why don't we just use straight up boric acid? You can get that stuff from I think you can even get it on Amazon. You can get a little bottle of it. You got to be careful though. I don't know much about it, but it's the active ingredient in borax. So you're not messing with you're not having to mess with
Acidic.
mess around with the cleaning solution. And you can just put it in the antifreeze itself, mix it together, and it should be good. I see the bug that's getting in all our hickory trees comment. I don't know any of that yet. What about that yet? But I have been doing a little bit of research. I've been doing a little research on oak wilt. I don't know if you guys can look at a map of that and where I know a lot of that's happening in the East Coast. And I'm actually filming a video right now about oak wilt and some solutions to it and some things that people haven't even thought of yet, you know. So
The most environmentally friendly way to kill your bugs is pay me to kiln dry. At 160 degrees, they die. They turn into raisins.
Well, right now you're just lacking 60 degrees.
Yeah. When we do pine, the pine beetles will crawl out in the kiln, and then the time it's over, they'll dehydrate, and dog go through there, and he'll pick them up like raisins, just to eat them.
Chickens love them too.
Oh, yeah. Sure enough. I don't know if that's a question or a statement there from Sawbucks.
yeah, I have the same thing. Ants
Yeah.
or mice love to nest in your stacked lumber.
I don't worry too much about after you kiln dry it because we don't sit on it for long. Our goal is to turn around and sell it to a customer. But if you go long-term store wood like that and then build a project, you might want to treat that a little bit or make sure you stain, polyurethane, or tung oil all four sides and deep penetrate into the wood, and you'll kill most of them anyway.
Beer Barrel, one of my beer. Shout out to Beer Barrel. He's one of my OGs from my channel. He says he got squirrel problems. I guess squirrels.
Looks like it.
Squirrel. Yeah.
Or else he was calling us names, one or the other.
Maybe, yeah, something like that. Could be. I know he could probably call us worse names. We'll
Rick kind of resembles a squirrel. Chipmunk at least.
Eric and Matthew probably have squirrels in that beard of theirs.
And you guys are being nice about his mustache.
I told you to man up. You got the mustache. Just let the rest of it grow.
Hey, I thought about it, but maybe I'll do a poll on my channel and be like, should I grow a mustache? Yes, no.
You already got a mustache.
Do it on your own. It don't matter what they think. Do it because you want to.
Well, I watched
I
guarantee you, Rick
thing on
Tails
your.
They're too ugly to
I
shave.
watched the little thing on your channel, Kyle, about rules for commenting. I thought that was pretty cute too.
Beer Barrel says no pit bull handles the squirrels. No pit bull handles squirrels. Yeah, commenting. I forgot what it is. Usually, I thought it'd be cute, like just no spam. Number two is like I know I'm fat and I know I look like Danny DeVito or sound like Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
I get a lot of them, and then the third one was like, I wonder if anybody even reads these. Most people don't. I've only had a handful of people that actually commented and said, "Yep, I read it and it's funny and whatever." But yeah, I get a lot of people tell me that I'm, sound like Dan with my raspy voice. I sound like Danny DeVito. Look like the Lorax, Mario.
Mario, I could see.
Hey, Mario,
Yeah,
I can
there's a-
see we get you a red hat. You be on the road. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, actually,
Mario.
I do have. Actually, I have a picture of me. One of the Halloweens, I dressed up for Mario for our church's trunk or treat. When I first had the mustache growing, and that's pretty good. Pretty cool.
Yeah, don't be
Oh.
on YouTube if you get your feelings hurt.
Rick, Brad's sucking up to you.
I see that.
Now, Sawbuck's talking about responding to at Chris the Wood guy there. I just covered the stack with old metal roofing. It all open to the elements. Now, I like that.
Yeah.
However, you got a situation now. I mean, in my video, we talk about how you need to have it. You need to have the weight holding down the stacked and stickered lumber. I mean, it's not a rule or anything, but it's a good idea to have it where there's
It's a rule.
dunnage on top of right over each one of the stickers, and you can have metal on top of it, but you're also going to want to have it strapped down. And a lot of times we were using the metal banding, and that just once it shrinks, it makes it basically shrinks to the point where there's no pressure, and it moves all over the place. So you don't have that pressure holding it down, especially on the ends. Now, what we suggest is, putting some heavy weight, putting dunnage right where the stickers are at, putting some heavy weight on there just to, just gravity holding it down. But how do you do that when there's metal on top of it? Especially if it's corrugated, are you going to ruin the metal with too much weight?
That's a whole lot of work
No.
when you use cloth strapping. And in a week, 2 weeks, when it shrinks, go back out there and tighten it up again. We've got 20 to 40,000 board feet of lumber stacked around here. And all my green lumber is sitting outside with this on it. No it covered. It's just sitting out there. Wind's blowing on it. It's drying. Now, once it goes
What
through the
is
kiln,
that again?
That's cloth strapping that
That's
it's got a slip buckle that once you tighten it up and
Yep.
shrink, you can come back and tighten it again.
it's a little more
Paul,
expensive
you
than
got
uh,
that, don't you?
but it's reusable, retensionable.
Yep.
And what we'll do is we'll cut a stack of green lumber, set it out here. It may be a week, it may be a month, but when it goes in the kiln, the last thing we do is put the binder on it, pull all that slack back out of it, stack them in the kiln, and run them. Now, when the wood comes out, you don't need to stack it back outside. That wood's dry. What we'll normally do is we'll bring it over here where we're sitting, and we'll unstack it, pull all the stickers out of it, flat stack it so it takes up half as much space, and then bind it back up, and it goes set in a barn, ready to go to somebody's house.
Yep.
Kendall, we had a question back earlier about mothballs. You think that would deter any of that?
Not unless you're in an enclosed space.
That might work for a snake, but most of the other stuff,
The mothballs? Okay.
Yeah, mothballs work better in like a closet where you got that confined smell.
Gotcha.
Smell.
You ever walked into a closet that had a mothball in it? You turn around.
Or the
walk out.
battery box of your four-wheeler.
Oh my God. Yeah, we go through the woods. All I smell is mothballs from his muffler. Yeah, it's wonderful.
So
Damn nice.
I know that you guys are in the South or whatever, and I'm not sure about the critters down there, but up here for the humidity, we run into a lot of problem with with mold, fungus, mildew. That's probably our biggest problem is a fungus that'll get into the wood, and proper airflow would usually help with that.
That's
I'm
why I
not
say
sure about-
everything we cut sets outside. It don't go put in the building. It sits outside until it either goes home with the customer or we kiln dry it. That way it has maximum airflow. But if you stick that in a building, yellow pine will be moldy pine within 24 hours.
Yep. I was going to say 3 days, but yep.
We're cutting it at 60, 70% moisture. And it's 110% humidity, so it just grows mold instantly. It's tough.
Now, Kyle, let
So,
me ask
Eric,
you
I had a question for you. Eric. So when you kill dry your lumber and then you bring it back out in that humidity, how much does it absorb of that humidity?
It
kill
depends
dry.
on how low we take it. Pine, we normally go to
Yeah.
about 6%, and our ambient
Mhm.
moisture is about 12, 13, which is what you'll
Okay.
have in a normal house around here.
This is what I tell people. Kiln drying is intended to dry your wood from the inside out. Okay.
Correct.
And you'll take that wood, put it in your house, and you're going to wet it from the outside in back to whatever normal moisture is. If you're out in Utah, 6, 7%. If you're down here in the South, 13%. But
Correct.
the interior grain and the heart of that wood is dry, and it'll always be dry. It'd take forever for it to go 16% back into the middle. But I can't keep hardwood flooring at 6%. It comes out of the kiln at 6%, and within a week, the outside area is going to go back to 10 or 11.
Gotcha.
And when you put it in your house, it's going to move again. That's why they recommend hardwood flooring to stack it in your house for a month to acclimate before you nail it down.
Right. Gotcha.
I always refer to it as blowing up bubbles blowing up balloons with water. So that wood cell in there is full of water. What the kiln does is it not only takes the water out of that cell, but it busts that cell. Not all of them, but it busts a majority of those cells. So that that cell can now not absorb any more moisture. Now, there are plenty of other cells around it to absorb the moisture, but it can never go back to 30% or 17% moisture like it was. You know what I mean? It can only get so much in there and only move so much now.
Okay.
My goal,
Before I-
and I try to explain that to all new customers, kiln drying is not going to make your wood perfect, but what it's going to allow me to do is stress test the wood and shrink it, pull that moisture out of it, and see if it's going to crack or split. And you'd rather it crack or split now versus when you install it in a table, a bookcase, or hardwood floor.
Yep.
Yep. That's probably is an
What
easier
it's
way.
going to do, we just make it happen faster.
Yep. I'm just stress testing it for you. I'm just going to tell them that from now on. I think that's
Well, I
good.
mean,
Rick,
that's what we're doing because how many times have I've drive millions of board feet of lumber, and you'll put 2 stacks in there, and one won't have a crack in it, and the next stack, because of the structure of the log, seemed like every board got a little bit of end check.
Yep.
And it wasn't because it wasn't anchored still; it's just because of the grain, the growth
Right.
in that particular log.
Right. Okay, so before I take this question, I got a question for Kyle real quick. I know you guys saw an awful lot of lumber with a band mill. Do you scrape the sawdust off of it or do you blow it off?
Yes.
Well,
Or do
blow
you leave it
or
on?
scrape?
we don't do
Or you
either
leave it. Don't do
You
it
don't.
either.
do either.
Okay.
You just leave it.
because I guess I don't. I guess that's another question for Kendall. He's out there. He probably has a very sophisticated answer for this, but you got to realize that a lot of the product that we do is made for pallet parts. Right? It's
Okay.
not for a particular customer. We do cut some roughs on for trailer decking or white pine for like board and batten. Do a lot of blocking, hay racks, etc. But a lot of their stuff goes into pallet parts. It's stacked together. We cut it to size, and then it brings it to the mill over to the pallet shop, and they build pallets with it right after. So
I got you.
a lot of that sawdust is so. I mean, the blade's so. It's such a large mill. Blade's so fast that you got to realize that. And also, by the way, guys, we have an hydraulic log turner. It throws the boards off onto chains. So once it slams down on the chains, it really kind of knocks a lot of that sawdust right off.
Mhm.
And then we stack it and we grab it and then either run it through a resaw line if it's still live edge or stack it right directly on there. There's usually no sawdust on there after after we have a long chain system.
Right.
So
Yeah, the handling knock a lot of sawdust off.
Yep.
You definitely need
Okay,
to get it
so
on there. That's why we always blow our stacks out when we're done and before they go in the kiln. Last thing we do is blow through it, get all that loose sawdust out, because it's just going to cause mold.
yeah.
And some species, we get little dose sawdust, and others, it piles up,
Right.
especially when we're sawing
Okay.
the big stuff.
So the question at hand, this gentleman contacted me today. He was bucking up some logs out of a tree, and he could hear crunching inside the pine log.
Yep.
I mean,
So whenever
Pine
Tim
board.
and I get a big load of pine, we always, if we're not going to use it right away, we always cut it into square cans, and that way it keeps the bugs out. There is another way. If you can peel the bark off of it, the bugs won't mess with it, or if you can throw it into a pond.
Yeah, if you can keep
But
it
right
wet.
now, the bugs are in his log, and he can hear them crunching. So
Not a great
I
sound
told
to hear.
him to cut it. I told him to cut them into square cans before they get too deep, but I don't know how deep they've gotten. And now we're back to what can I spray my stuff down with to kill the bugs?
Yeah, it's probably too late at that point.
On whole logs, I've had some luck with borax and warm water.
Depending on what you're
It
using
doesn't
it
kill
for,
what's in there,
it
but
might
keep
be better with the bugs.
Right.
Yeah,
I like the pond. I like throwing it in the pond or water.
Wormy pot
Carlito says, Monopoly Man.
Best thing to do to keep your pine beetles out of your pine logs is keep them wet.
Yep.
Put them in the shade. Put them up next to a red dirt bank, and keep them damp. We just sawed logs this week that's been on the stand out there up against the bank for 6 months, and they're perfect.
Surprisingly.
Just want to take a minute here. If any of you guys are new to any of our channels, make sure you hit that like button and also hit that subscribe button wherever it may be, guys. It helps us out. It's a free way you guys can help us out. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Also, if you're coming in off your cell phone, there's a what is it you can hit with your cell phone? I forgot.
Right?
Just double tap the
Hyper.
screen.
The hyper
No, the
button.
new thing. Hype.
Oh, the
The
Oh,
hyper.
hype.
Jesus.
Yeah, you can hype a video.
Yeah, if you can hype your if you watch a video and you can hype it, that also helps us out.
I have to apologize in advance if you hear Fenway barking in the background. Fresh tar and gravel on the road, so every time a car goes by, she thinks it's someone coming up the driveway. You may hear Fenway in the background.
Get control of your female, will you?
A little public service announcement. If anybody out there is looking at getting into YouTube, you've got between now and February the 1st of next year.
Yep.
And YouTube is doubling the requirements to get monetized.
Good luck, right?
It's going to be a lot tougher.
I will
I'm
lose
gonna
mine
tell
for
you right
sure.
now. We struggled for the watch hours. I don't know how anybody's ever going to get 8,000 watch hours.
If you don't have
Or
somebody
20
that-
million on shorts.
you're going to go for years before you ever monetize.
Yep.
And that's
If
20
that-
million
what they're thinking.
views, not total views. You need about 40 million total views to get 20 million certified views, or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
For shorts.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know
I
what
think
they're
what they're
thinking.
thinking is, that they're paying out too much money to monetize channels, so now they're making it harder.
Mhm.
Well, every channel that runs a video that's not monetized, they still run an ad, and they still
Oh.
keep 100% of the ad revenue.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Cheap people.
B Barrel, we're in Western North Carolina, buddy. Appreciate you watching. Timberboard.
Timberboard. What is timber? Must be a preservative or something.
It's treatment.
Finish?
You can spray on the wood. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a bug treatment you can spray on the wood. You can get it on Amazon.
I gotta
5-gallon
look at
buckets.
that. I gotta look
like
that up
100
then.
bucks.
Around here, you can go to Tractor Supply and you can get what's called Telstar, Telstar, and it's kind of a borax derivative. you can do a whole house for like $30. Do it yourself. Mix it with water, put it in a pump
Let me
spreader.
see.
That's one of the requirements for North Carolina. If you use green sawmill lumber off your property, you have to spray it down with something to kill the bugs.
Really?
Yep.
Well,
Where's that
in
at?
North Carolina, when you build a house, before the framing is completed, you're required to have a subsoil treatment, and
Crap. I'm the only one on stage. That's nice.
What
What
happened?
happened?
Sorry. That was me.
Go. Way to
That was
go.
me.
I'm in
I
trouble,
didn't
maker.
kick Rick out.
We just
Sorry.
had rain coming in, and I thought for sure that was me.
Oh, you want to try it again? Here, this one's you. All right, now it's you. Rick will be here in a minute.
where is he
What is
at
going-
this week?
what are you
Is
doing?
he in Alaska yet, or is he still Washington?
John,
Rick,
leave the buttons
What?
alone.
what? What'd you say?
Rick said, "Leave the buttons alone."
I didn't. We didn't set
Where are
it
you
up.
at this week, Rick? What state you in?
Confusion.
Me?
Yeah,
Confusion.
every day. We're talking about one of the 50, unless you're in Canada.
Yeah. We're in the Adirondacks, upstate New York.
Well, I know where
This is
you're
it
at.
behind me.
That ain't where he's at today. He's traveling.
So what else is new, Kyle? Anything new that you can share that in the wood industry that
I do
You might
like
see something?
Brett's comment, peeing on it. That might actually work. If you can get, if you can
Pneumonia?
mix urine with like some mineral spirits to get that acidic urine into the wood, it might stink, but it probably would work. You think?
What do you want to do? Drink Jack Daniels all day and have it high octane?
yeah.
Whatever. New. What's new? New things. Here are some new things. I'm going to be going up to Grand Rapids. Any of you guys that are in, the Minnesota area or whatever, anybody watching, I'm going to be going up to Grand Rapids, Minnesota, in the mid-September because I've been invited to speak at the loggers, at some sort of loggers, Minnesota Forestry Association's logging event at that time. I should probably know more, but they're having a bunch of stuff, and it's kind of like a side event convention. 50 usually there's about 50 people. There might be more. They're having it earlier in the day. They used to have it later in the evening, and all the old guys couldn't come out that late, so their wives wouldn't let them out. So we figured if they had it earlier in the day, they'd be able to come around. So I'm going to be there. And then, in October, I have a – hold on, bear with me. I don't know if in October here. Oh, it's backwards. I knew it. The Minnesota Woodworkers Guild Expo, October 16th and the 17th at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds Progress Center. They're having their yearly expo. It's always fun. Everybody from the Twin Cities area, set from the south. Well, usually people from southern to central Minnesota end up there. It's a pretty awesome blast, and every year they go bigger and better. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And I see a lot of you guys are from central Minnesota. You got 2 votes there, it looks like. So yeah, we're looking forward to attending that. Do you guys have any conventions and stuff that you guys go to in the areas that you are at?
Yeah, we got Woodsman's Field Days coming up next weekend.
Boonville, New York.
Boonville, New York. That's a big show. I was going to ask Brad, the mailbox post guy, if he was going to come to Woodsman's Days this year. I don't know if he's still on here or not.
Buffalo. Wooders.
And then we got
Eric
Bunyan
Matthew.
coming up in Ohio.
When is Bunyan this year, Eric?
2, 3, October 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
Okay.
Gates open 8 o'clock Friday morning.
2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, Matthew and I'll be there with several other YouTubers. We'll have a booth, have a tent set up. We're not selling anything. We're passing out free handshakes and chit chat.
Not going to drive a bunch of lumber up there and sell it?
Heck no.
What about your T-shirts and hats?
You know, people always ask me why I don't bring lumber to these Minnesota, to these woodworkers expos and such. And then I asked them, have you ever tried to lug 600 board feet of lumber in the back of your truck down along with a bunch of other stuff
Yeah,
down there and back?
we're sharing a booth with 2 guys timber framing. They'll be doing some demo work, showing off their dovetail jigs. We've had them here on the channel before. I'm pretty sure Neil with Kilted Sawyer that's normally here with us, he's coming. Or Neil from Mississippi, and then Craig from Kilted Sawyer. And I know that all these other guys already committed. They're going to be there.
Yeah.
So they can come out. They can come hang out in the booth with us. We're at booth 260. They can bring lumber and sell it.
Yeah.
They bring beams and things.
We just had like Chris the Wood Guy said, they had a forestry show near them. We just had in March, we have a builders show in Duluth. Now that poses a question to me. You got your builders and then you got your woodworkers, the fine woodworkers. Those are 2 very different customers for someone that owns a sawmill, owns someone that provides kiln dried lumber, specifically. I don't know if you guys do kiln dried, but I think bearded lumber does. I find that those are 2 different customers. Where the builders, they're my favorite type of customers because they come and they buy the entire stack of lumber as is, where the fine woodworkers, they'll come and pick through the stack and pull out all the good boards and then leave you with the rest.
Yep.
And a lot more time pulling out those, 2 or 3 boards.
That's why they're discount.
Builders, they take it and they're gone.
When they ask for a discount, their discount's 0. I said, you just pick the cream of the crop. You pay the cream of the crop price.
You want a discount?
Yeah.
Buy the whole pile.
Yeah. It's a game. It's a game you play in the sawmill business once you get beyond hobby milling. Kyle talks about selling to pallet companies. I refuse to deal with them. I know several of them around here, and all they are is cheap. That's all they want is cheap. And I can't compete with the big local sawmills that miscut 10,000 board foot of lumber and they sell them a tractor trailer load for $1,500 just to get it off their yard. I'm not going to work for nothing. I don't sell to third-party buyers that are going to take my product and resell it to somebody else. I don't want to deal with it. I'm selling to the end user, the consumer, and probably half my business is I sell a product I made, and then I sell a product that I made out of their lumber, their logs. And that adds tremendous value to what we do as a small mill, that we can take your logs and turn it into something to go in your house. And you just can't go to the big lumber mills or big box stores and get anything like that.
We like to build
Right.
come back. They're doing 5 or 6 houses a year, and
Oh, yeah.
most of them that come to us, they bring their own trees for their customers while they're coming.
Yeah, the love. Don't get me wrong. I love the homeowners. They're excited about what they're doing, but also like doing business with the contractors. that know that when they go in and clear this lot and they talk to the homeowner or they're building a spec house and they say, hey, them guys at Beard and Lumber can turn this into flooring, or they can turn this into wallboard, or they can turn this into beads. Why y'all got that big truck over here taking that down? Haul it over to them.
Yep, that's what I saw a lot up to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Boonville-
So Brett, Boonville is this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday coming up.
Boonville is a weekend coming, next weekend, 21st. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And it doesn't look like Brad's going to be able to go, Rick.
I see that.
So let me see. I got a poll.
We don't
You know,
have
there's something I can respect about what Bearded Lumber just said, because ultimately we're on YouTube here, and I mean, some of this may be kind of a passion for you. Also, it might be a hobby, but also it's a business, and we're trying to sell our lumber, market it to people that are online that are watching our videos and watching our live streams. So at the same time, you know, in that same breath, I like to sell the higher quantity to the builders that want to refurbish their home, that want to, you know, do a bunch of paneling. They want to, you know, or the contractors that need that 500 board feet for cabinets, or the, you know, even to the small woodworker that, you know, does that fine woodworking, that comes and picks through all the boards and pulls out them 3 boards for that little table that they make, which is fine,
Yeah.
you know, and it's essentially, we want to sell that and provide value to our subscribers in not only in a way that educates them, but also provides value to these woodworkers by providing them with high quality lumber that they can use to build long lasting projects.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, because I've got crap on the marketplace every day of the week, multiple ads running, and somebody will message me about, you know, maybe white oak boards. I got some beautiful number 1, 12-inch wide, 8-foot long white oak boards. And what, you know, do you do small lots? I'm like, yeah, I sell 1 board. Come get it. You know, you're not gonna stand around and talk for 30 minutes because I got to go back to work, but I'll sell you 1 board and be glad to help you out with your project. Now, if you want to buy 15, 20, then yeah, we'll do. You know, we'll talk longer. You know,
I hear you.
I can't spend 30 minutes talking to a guy that's going to buy, you know, a $10 pine board. I've got to go back to work. I'm sorry. Yeah, if you want to come by after work, come by at 5:30, 6 o'clock. Oh, shoot, we might grab Pepsi and sit down and talk for 30 minutes. But between 8 and 5, Matthew needs to be working. And if I quit, he quits.
Yeah, that's Kendall all the way, the Sawyer of our channel. He'll stop the whole show and then sit there and talk to you for 45 minutes while all his guys are standing around. But I mean, he's a talker. He likes to talk to people. Me, I'm the kind of guy that reels them in and say, all right, guys, you know, Kendall needs to saw, and you come talk to me. You know, I'd be glad to answer any questions. So I see how I understand. There's a lot of guys they like to talk.
I've considered doing that here, maybe changing our business hours, you know, working hours from like 7 o'clock to 3, 4. And then when people call, say, well, come get something, say, yeah, 4 o'clock. Yeah.
Well, would you guys down there in that heat, I'd be working 5 o'clock at night until 5 o'clock in the morning.
I would too, but Matthew's a young married man with 2 kids. He needs to go home. If we were the same age, yeah, we'd start at 4 o'clock in the morning and quit by 10:30 and come back about 7. Work till midnight.
A lot cooler at night, isn't it?
But I work 3rd shift. It can be done. It's just hard to work 3rd shift and to take care of customers during the daylight hours when you're sleeping. Yeah, 3rd shift sucks. That ain't normal for people to work 3rd.
That is the
No,
truth.
that's not normal. We cut up.
Questions,
Let me
feel
see.
free to ask in the chat. We'd love to hear all your guys' questions.
I got a question. I got a question for the viewers right here about Kyle.
Uh-oh.
Right there. What do you most want to hear Kyle talk about tonight? Running K&J lumber, selling. Press 1 in the chat if you want to hear him talking about running K&J lumber. If you want to hear him talk about selling lumber and pricing, press 2. If you want to hear him talk about sawmill equipment, press 3. If you want to hear him talking about growing a lumber business, press 4. That might give him some ideas for his channel too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like it's difficult to it's a little difficult to find quality topics that you guys want to learn about because I mean I could do research on videos. I could cover topics that have already been covered.
We're back.
It's just you got to find. It's hard. It's a little difficult to find the topics that you guys want to learn about.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, we got
So
numbers
then
coming
there-
up.
Yep.
What happened to Eric and Matthew? Oh, there they are.
Oh,
They're
well,
back.
it doesn't look like I'll be doing any talking. I think Kendall just decided he wanted to show up. So,
Oh, good.
All right. Well, before Kendall takes over, I
Quick.
see a lot of videos where you're explaining flooring and paneling and stuff from hardwood boards you guys are sawing. Do you sell a lot of stuff like that?
oh, I suppose I should have taken that.
I don't think you heard you, Rick.
Somebody repeat the question. Maybe I'm
You asked me
missing
a
it.
question.
Yeah, Rick asked your question.
Sorry,
Yeah, I
go
see
ahead.
on
So
lo-
repeat that.
I see on your videos that you advertise a lot of flooring and paneling. Do you guys sell a lot of that?
We try.
Well, we run into the problem. We run into the problem. A lot of and for the first of all for the people that have been watching the whole time. If you're new, this is Kendall. He's the owner. He's the sawyer of K&J Lumber. Well, actually, his wife's the real owner or boss, but she's the real
Welcome
boss.
to
but
the
he's
show,
second
Kendall.
in command. Yeah. So, anyways, yes, paneling. We run into the problem is that we have a higher quality product, in which case it take the milling that goes into it is kind of expensive. It's hard to compete with those bigger companies that can produce a lower quality product for cheaper. And a lot of the people that they look at our price, which is a little bit higher and higher quality. They look at the other price, which is a little bit lower but lower quality. So you got to realize that and it's all about value. So and it's all about time. Whether it comes back to whether you're going to use time or money to get this project done. If you don't have enough time, you're going to have to throw money at it, right? So when it comes to when they're using and they're buying this lower quality product, they don't realize that they're going to be not only using a lot more, they have to buy more because it's all lower quality. They're going to be wasting a lot more. They're going to be fighting to put this product together because it's made crappily. So they got to fight to put this product together and put it up on their wall. It's going to take them twice the amount of time. Whereas if they just spent a little bit more money, through us, you're buying a higher quality product that you don't have to fight to fit together to put on your wall or ceiling. And then, you're not buying as much because it's a higher quality product. So you're not wasting as much. So ultimately, you're spending more. You're spending about the same amount of money, but twice as much time with the lower quality product.
Right.
Yeah. The other trick with paneling is like, if people come in like, well, I want to do this paneling. You're like, well, we don't have it. We can get it made. Well, but I want it now. So then you get a bunch made, and then that magical customer doesn't come in for what you have. Like, oh, well, if you had it in this, I'd get this, but you don't have that. So
Right.
it's like never
You can't be
ending.
everything to everybody. You just have to give up on that.
Yeah. So
I get them all the time. They call. And I'm like, guy, you're 6 months behind on your planning.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this product right here. That's walnut hardwood flooring. You don't get that made overnight. You know, that costs a lot of money to make walnut hardwood flooring. And the customer that's going to buy this, hopefully, most of the time, they're forward thinking enough to be out in front of it and order it ahead.
Yeah.
Never fight. Well, you got somebody in your neighborhood that works for nothing. Don't fight with them. Let them work for nothing. That's an 8-inch T&G V group. You don't buy that at the box store. It looks like that. Make a product that'll sell in your area. And if you call me and tell me that one of the first 3 words out of your mouth is "I need cheap," we're probably done right there.
I've said that too.
You guys got a question up there?
How do you determine the strength and durability of different hardwoods when hard? Well, first of all, there's the Jenka hardness scale,
Yep.
which is basically, a scientific process they use to determine the hardness of different woods. Now, and the way they test that is by driving a 1/2-inch steel ball through a kiln-dried piece of wood halfway and determining the pounds per square inch. You can find the scale online easily. They have charts that show from the softest of the woods all the way up to the hardest of woods. And then also there is, I remember the trailer decking video we did where we rated different woods based on the bendy strength.
Oh
of
yeah,
it.
I remember. What do they call that? You remember?
Yeah, it's I can't remember, but we were doing our trailer deck video,
Yeah.
which is pretty popular too. I mean, we were showcasing different woods, and then obviously we're gonna put something heavy on it. You're gonna want to know the bendy strength of it, and I can't remember if it's like the MO or OM or. Now it's gonna bug me. Here we go.
Yeah.
Now I'm googling it.
That sounds like something you
Flexibility.
might get
Yeah,
into with. That sounds like something you might get into an aircraft building.
What, the flexibility, Kyle?
Yeah, the bending
Look
strength.
at the amount of deflection.
Gotcha.
That is big in framing lumber. That's one of the grades that they put on framing lumber. We all know a stud in this configuration carries lots of weight. But when you stand it up this way and you're spanning, they need to know what the deflection
MOR.
is over a certain span.
Great.
Now here, I found it. It's called the MOR scale, or the modulus of rupture. For everyone in the chat that doesn't know, that's a big fancy word. It's the primary calculation test that represents actual bending strength. It measures the peak stress of the wood it takes before it breaks. Now, there's also the modulus of elasticity. It measures the stiffness. It tracks how much wood bends under normal weight without permanently breaking. So there's two different,
Bouncing and bending.
Yeah.
Stiffness.
well, breaking and bending.
Breaking and bending.
The stiffy.
Now, question for Kyle. Do you guys keep kiln dried inventory that you turn into tongue and groove, or you try to make tongue and groove and have it readily available?
Well, what we tried in the past is to just have it made, but right now, currently, we have a fair amount of just basically blanks that could be made into paneling, but we haven't made them because we got so much already. I'm just kind of like, well, we're not gonna.
Well, that's what we do. I don't keep any of this ready to go.
Sure.
One, it's going to warp, bend, it's going to get damaged. What I keep is buildings full of kiln dried lumber that are 1x9s to make 1x8s, 1x7s to make 1x6s. And if somebody calls me and says, "Hey, I need 100 1x8s to put on the side of the barn," I take 100 out of that stack and they go home with them. If somebody calls me and says, "Hey, I need 500 square feet of T&G," I pull out of that same stack. We bring it in here, edge it, tongue and groove it, make an order specifically for them. Every board is exactly the same because I like to make if I tell you it's 6 inches, I like to make a 6-inch board, not a 5 1/4.
Right.
So, and if customer calls me and says, "Hey, I bought some from you 3 months ago," bring me one of your pieces and let me mark it, and we'll make an exact match of what you had. You know, because sometimes you get a batch of lumber that won't make a 6. Maybe you had to go 5 7/8. Just had a lot of defects. So
Right.
we try to run it in batches. It works out better.
Yeah, I think in the future that's what we're gonna try and do.
Yeah,
The trick was paneling is always like people want it and then you don't have it and they want to wait to get it milled. So we thought we'd try and build it ahead, but I don't think we're gonna do that in the future.
Well, I guess my next question for you, Eric, is this interior or exterior that you guys are talking about?
We mainly do interior, but I recently bought the knives to do exterior shiplap,
Okay.
and it's still the same thing. I'm not going to make it ahead. I'm going to wait for the customer to show up.
Now, I guess my question, do you kiln dry for the exterior stuff? Do you still kiln dry it or do you do it wet?
You can't run.
Or mill it up wet?
Well, that don't turn. You can't run that mess through our molder. It's got to be dry. It's got to be kiln dry.
That's what I thought. I mean, I was asking a question I already knew the answer to, but
Yeah, we also get a lot of contract.
wanted to make sure because
Right.
sometimes I don't really know much about the exterior milling of exterior woods, but sometimes customers ask. It's always good to
The
have that
biggest
in my
thing,
arsenal.
the biggest thing with exterior is you want to kiln dry it, and if this board splits, then maybe it's not a 12-footer, it's an 8-footer, or you cull it all together. Last thing you want to do is mill it, and then it dries, and it cracks and splits.
And with
Yeah.
pine, it crystallizes the sap so that when you paint it, it doesn't just bleed back through when it warms up.
Right. That's the other purpose of kiln drying. The hotter you get this wood, if you get it 140 degrees, yeah, it's killed the bugs. But when you go to sand it, once you get 140 degrees, the creosote turns back to gel. If I take it to 160, 65, then you've got to exceed 165 degrees with a sander or a molder before that creosote will turn back to that nasty mess we all fight.
Sure.
So, Kyle or Kendall, what dimensions are you milling your paneling?
Well, it's important to note that we don't do any kiln drying or milling here on site. We leave that to the professionals that probably could do it better than we ever could even think of doing
Yeah,
it.
we've got a couple of really good mill workshops near us. We just
Okay.
hired out to them.
Yeah, it's just so much easier.
Generally, what I'm doing is I'm cutting about a 6-inch board. Like when I get down to my lower grade and I'm thinking paneling, if I'm going to do that, then I don't go any less than 6 inches. But gosh, by the time they get done with it, some of the paneling is only 4 inches, a 4-inch reveal on a 6-inch board, depending upon what they do. How that board dries. If we're lucky, you get that 5.5 or 5 inch is pretty common.
To make this is a finished 8, not including the tongue. I cut that
Yep.
board at 9 inches, and then we straight line edge it at about 8.5 because it's almost 8 and about just a hair over a quarter to include the tongue. And if some reason this don't make an 8, we'll drop down and punt and make a 6.
Yep.
But
Yep.
and I try to talk most of my customers into that is to do 2 different sizes. Now, if they call me, I want 1,000 boards just like this, perfect. Well, this is not the same price as a run of the mill type random where you get knots and little defects and different things.
Yeah.
It's like this wallet. You don't get this wallet for 3 times hardly the price of oak. It's walnut.
Yeah.
You got to have a heck of a budget for that. Because I gotta have a big budget to go buy enough to do 1,000 square feet.
Yeah, I guess.
It's amazing in paneling and flooring how much you lose.
Oh yeah.
I mean, by the time you start with a 6-inch board, you end up with a 4-inch board. End up with a 4-inch reveal. So you're selling basically square footage and paneling is how we sell it. And it's like, man, that was over 30% loss from what it was cut in the rough down to its actual reveal size. Like that's it to me. It's a little depressing. I mean, I love tongue and groove paneling. I love it, but it's just like, man, when you cut it, I cut 1,000 square feet of rough sawn lumber here, so I should get 900 square feet of paneling. No.
If I'm doing this product right here for you, out of your wood or my wood, if I'm gonna make a 6-inch board, 3/4 inches thick, I got a question. That's standard thickness. We don't do 5/8, half inch. It's a full 3/4. To make this a 3/4 by 6, I will cut it at 5/4 by 7.5.
But it also depends on the species.
Yeah.
The pine, we'll cut it at 1 1/8 to get down to 3/4.
Pine's completely
Sweet
different.
gum, we go to almost 1.5 inches.
But you're throwing away
Wow.
that wood. The last thing you're going to do is get down to this finished product and you got a defect in the face because you didn't leave enough material to plane it out. So,
Yeah.
and I tell people that if I'm sawing their wood, well, how much do I need? I just bring it to me and I'll saw it. As soon as I saw it, I can count how many 5/4 by 7.5 I got, and then I'll refigure them at 3/4 by 6, and I can tell you exactly how much yield you got, whether you got enough or you need a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because there's, like I say, about 30% waste in making flooring. Not near as much in tongue and groove because it's not quite as critical. But when you're paying the price of hardwood flooring, it's got to be on the money.
Yeah, with our flooring, you only get one good face, where our tongue and groove, we run them double-sided so you can use either face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all that planing, Eric, you got a market for all the planer shavings? So they just go in the
Our problem is we do stuff like walnut and things like that, and any kind of fruit wood like that will kill a horse.
Yeah, I don't fool with it. Eventually, I've got a big pile of dirt, a hill behind my shop. When all that's gone, I won't be able to build it out here with 2 bins that I can put pine, sawdust, and pine shavings off from over in, and I can sell those as good quality bedding. And then another bin of all the mix that you can use it for garden or turn it into mulch or whatever. But it has no, and you can sell it to a pulp mill, but we don't have any around here anymore. But the pine does have value if you keep it separated.
Kendall, what are you sawing up to make pallets?
Right now we've been doing a lot of aspen and a lot of oak and ash. Actually cutting a lot of ash too. I bought the ash borer is just coming through, and so a lot of people are cutting ash. And it sure don't saw very nice now, but we're chewing through it. It's hard on blades.
Are you cutting the runners or the slats or both?
We mostly the stringers, but of course on the jacket boards, we generate a lot of jacket lumber too off the stringers, and so those all end up going back on the pallets pretty much too. We save a little bit of the jacket lumber if it's nice. But
if you don't mind me asking, what thickness do they like to have on that kind of the waste boards? 3/4, half?
So on our we do standard 4/4 lumber for our skids that we build some big industrial skids. So they've got a 2.5 by 3.5 stringer hardwood, and then the top boards are usually either 1x4s or 1x6s with that. It's still full 1 1/8, the 4/4.
I had a couple of them I dealt with when we first started, and all they want is the cheapest thing they can buy, and I could sit at the house and make more money doing nothing than I could sawing for them.
Yeah.
And that's partly because of my area. There's 3 big commercial mills, do 1 million board feet a week, and all their offcuts, all their waste, all their screw ups, they put it on a tractor trailer load and they buy it. And then they got to resaw it, resize it, do all this, but they're getting it for 15-20 cents a board foot most of the time.
But there's also 8 or 9 pallet mills around here too.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I sell very, very, I don't really sell any cans or very little other stuff. The way that we really make money is we saw the wood, but then we also build in the pallets. So we value add twice. and that's really the only way that I could survive. I feel like just doing
Now,
one of those steps.
Another good business you can get into is we got a customer about an hour away from here. Actually, they just pulled out the end of the road yesterday, picked up the bundle. They ship heavy stuff. They do concrete bridge timbers, big equipment, and they'll buy 4 to 6 hardwoods that they'll chop up into blanks to lay on a guy's flatbed trailer.
They're all single use.
Yeah, and he ordered a whole pallet of 5x5, 12-foot long pine that they'll use for dunnage. They've been using these little landscape timbers, and whatever they were shipping on them was literally just crushed them.
Huh.
So dunnage, if you got a production facility that does a lot of material handling like that, you can make some money off of them. I charge them a fair price, but
Yeah.
they buy quality. They show up, and their money's good.
Yeah. We do some blocking and stuff there's a lot of gravel around here, so they use it for all those crews and some trucking companies. We do it. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, you just got to work
Like,
your area, find a market in your area for your wood.
yeah. If I make a white oak 6x6 10-footer, it'll sit around a little while, but it always finds a home. So when I get a small log that'll just give me a 6x6, a lot of times I just cut a 6x6 off it and roll it off the mill rather than waste time.
I do the same thing. A guy brings in a load of logs, and you got 2 good butt cuts, and then you got 2 12-foot pieces that are limby. You can't cut grade lumber out of that. It's either trailer decking or cribbing. And I'll set them to the side, and when this guy calls and wants an order, that's what we pull out of. We don't pull out of them 2 butt cut logs.
Yeah.
Because he don't want to pay butt cut prices for cribbing.
Yeah.
So, Brett, we had a video come out about a month ago now talking about our alternative to what cedar is for outdoor use. We've actually started cutting Leland cypress because it's pretty well rot proof outside. It's good for garden beds and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's cheap. It's cheap as pine, but it's durable.
I've got a raised garden bed at my house made out of it. It's been there for a few years and it ain't moved.
Yeah. It's a weed tree. Most people buy them, plant around the hedgerows in front of the house, and they'll get, 12, 18 inches. I've got some a little bit bigger that got a little older. It's kind of like cutting cedar. You're going to hate it because it starts big at the bottom and tapers real small at the top, and it's covered in limbs. But it's a product you can sell to somebody that's looking for something a little more inexpensive. I get it all the time. They want cedar, and I'm like, I can't get cedar because our cedar's bad. But if I did get it, you're 3 or 4 times the price of using this product. You sure you want to put it in the ground?
Brett has a pretty interesting question. I have a customer. No. A customer
Here, I'll
that's
put it back
making-
up.
You have
There
a
you go.
customer that's making a garden bed, wants a rot-proof board. I advise maybe locust or white oak as to the area. Besides cedar, that's not difficult to know that could be useful. I think all those are really great ideas if you have it in your area. That's the thing. A lot of people around here they're automatically trained on trying to get they want cedar, but it doesn't really, it grows around here. We just don't get the logs from our suppliers to mill much of it.
Well, Western red cedar doesn't grow here. That's the thing. That's what tends to be more rot resistant. We don't have Western. Yeah.
Here in the South, we've used Eastern red cedar for the last 200 years. And we did a video 6 months ago on it, and it blowed off the map. And I've had thousands of comments across the country. Everybody knows about the emerald ash borer, but the red cedar is dying from East Coast through out to the Mississippi. Something is killing the heartwood in it, and when the trees are cold, they're unusable. They're just full of heart rot.
Right.
Huh.
And that's why I tell people you can't use it for garden beds anymore because it used to be cheap. It's not cheap anymore. Supply and demand, and the demand has went up, so has the price.
Huh.
Same thing with white oak.
So I think the important thing is to research what type of rot resistant woods are good in your area. Right now, in our area, white oak is probably the best. It's abundant. It's rot resistant. It's got rot resistant properties. It's got tyloses. Even the tannins in white oak help to resist bugs. Now, I mean, in the southeast where you guys are at, eastern red cedar is perfect. And on the west coast, you probably would get a lot of that western red cedar that's probably very abundant over there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe some larch, but just do some research in your area, Google search to find out what rot resistant woods are in your area that's easily obtainable.
Yeah. And in our area, like I say, we have a lot of white oak, but we've also got the problem that the bourbon industry is buying every white oak log that hits the ground. And they're paying top dollar. I sell white oak that I lose money on that I could sell to the bourbon industry, but I won't because I want to have something to sell to my customers. I mean, they're paying top dollar on the log for number one, butt cuts, second cuts.
Yeah, the bourbon industry buying white oak is not a problem. We want that.
Yeah. John does. He's
For
happy.
multiple
We
reasons.
want the bourbon.
But I tell people, if you're on a budget, I say, if you've got a tree on your property, you've got a cedar, you've got a locust, you've got a white oak, bring it to me, and all you're going to be in it is the sawmill. I don't have to charge you the cost of what it costs me to buy that log, sit on that log, and then turn that log into profit dollars. And if your log happens to be a butt cut number one, I don't care. I'll cut it into 5/4 by 6 boards, and you can put it in the ground and have a wonderful time doing it. But I won't do that. I'm not going to put number one white oak.
I know around here, white oak is way too expensive. It's too valuable to use for.
Right here's a wood most people forget about. This walnut, I have never. I've never cut a rotten walnut. It is good in the ground, insects, everything. It's just so valuable. Nobody uses it that way.
Yep.
No.
So around here, a garden bed.
It does have juglone.
Yeah.
It's got that juglone or whatever. It's got
The insecticide in it, basically,
Yeah.
or the herbicide.
We don't have any
whatever
of
it is.
that.
Yeah, it kills everything that's near it. So
It all went to Japan years ago. The Western,
let's all just start. We can all have black walnut garden beds and posts in the
have you crossed
ground.
walnut lately? That stuff is
Walnut. Walnut's
you started to say,
expensive
John?
up here as well to do it as imagine.
I was going to say around here, you can do elm. You can put elm. It's a decent ground contact wood, and it's extremely cheap.
Yeah.
And for garden beds, if you don't need it straight, because elm's going to warp, anyway, it's going to warp, it's going to twist. But if you don't need a straight garden bed, elm is decent, and it's really cheap.
I hate to say this. My daughter-in-law, my oldest son, built her 6 garden beds this past year. He used cement blocks. They won't ever rot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we
John, I
have-
thought you were going to say camphor.
No, I'm not going to say camphor, and I'm not going to say hedge because that's way too expensive for a garden bed also.
Well, we have a good supply of larch and tamarack in our area, and that's a good wood that doesn't rot either, that you can obtain pretty cheap. So like Andy was saying on there, tamarack and larch in Brett's area would be a good wood to look for garden beds.
Now, we don't have that in the South, but do they grow fairly straight and tall, or are they kind of a
Yes.
weed?
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
straight as an arrow, and they get really tall, and they're easy to spot because they're like an evergreen tree, but they lose their needles in the wintertime.
Okay.
Sounds about like Dawn Redwood.
Yep.
Because that's actually another one that's a nursery tree around here that we've had a log sitting on the yard for 2.5 years and it hasn't begun to rot yet.
Wow.
Just like I say, find something native in your area that is not highly valuable and make your garden beds out of it.
Yeah.
Don't use pressure treated. your garden beds. You're better off to, if you got to go to Lowe's and buy 2x6s, just buy the untreated ones and replace them every 2 years. Don't put that pressure
Chemicals and food
on your food source.
Yeah.
I would think even up in our area, if you did cut them out of white pine around us is probably one of the most rot resistant pines around.
It ain't gonna
I mean,
last.
it's not going to be nearly as good as white oak, but you'd probably be surprised. Probably last 10 years.
I'll be honest with you, I've never understood the garden bed thing. If I've got an acre of ground out there, last thing I want to do is have to till a garden bed. Let me go get the tractor and the 5-foot tiller, and we're going to till that ground.
Now, Eric, we sell a lot of wood for garden beds, so let's not be talking that kind of trash.
The raised beds are easier on your back for weeding and things.
Gardening sucks. I don't care if it's in a bed or not. It's still a lot of work.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of gardening, but it is my job to till the garden in the spring. I know that.
Oh,
Well, we use the least resistant wood because we want our customers to come back every year.
yeah.
So I'm like kind of interested. Out of all the people that are still watching this live stream, how many of you are sawmill or lumber suppliers versus how many of you are just the average guy that builds with it, or the woodworker or a builder of this product? I want to kind of figure out which one of you guys, like what audience are we talking to right now? That's a good question. Also, if you can, hit that share button, share this live feed with someone that you think would find this useful, because sharing these live feeds are the best way you guys can help us out and get new people watching. Other than liking and subscribing, sharing is the best metric that YouTube sees, and it just helps us out. Thanks. Brett says
That's one of the last things you can do for free.
Yeah, free.
There you go. Just stay with it, Brett. It takes time. You're not going to build a home-based business overnight. We talk about that a lot on our YouTube channel. What we do is no different than what anybody else does. Take a log, turn it into lumber, and then finish process it, get back to customer. We're selling a service, and the service is us standing behind what we do, working hard at a reasonable rate. And if you'll do that, you'll be successful. And don't chase. If you got somebody in your neighborhood that'll work for nothing, don't chase them to the bottom. Just leave them alone. When they go broke, go out of business.
Go over there, buy their stuff, make sure they can't go back in business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that, because I know, like, when Kyle first started with me, he said, "Oh, so and so is cheaper," and I'm like, "Good for them.
Yeah,
they want to be cheaper, fine." But we can't work for peanuts.
No.
It doesn't work. I'm better off not selling some stuff, and making nothing on it.
You run a big business, my wife just finished up our mid-year P&L, and there's a lot of money that comes in and out. It takes a lot to make a big business run. And you forget about that. A lot of overhead, and there's a lot of money in trying to run a professional first-class operation to keep everything going. Now, I had a question for you. What sawmill are you guys running?
So we run a double cut heartwood. I actually have two of them, but only one's running at the moment.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which I love that saw. I want to switch over to electric in the next year.
Oh, yeah. Electric is awesome.
Yeah. 3-phase is the only way to go. Now, who produces that mill? What's the company name?
Heartwood's no longer in business. So now my option is Select. And they weren't making mills for a few years, but now I think they're building them again. So I'm optimistic that I'll be able to buy one maybe next year. Either that or I'll convert one of my heartwoods over to electric, but that's a process.
Yeah.
But can be done.
It's so much nicer when you don't have to fool with diesel oil changes and all that maintenance. Just hit the on button, and there you go.
And it's a whole lot.
Yeah. We're currently sawing outside still. I got a cement slab, but this fall, hopefully I got a deal with a guy right now. The plan is to put up a 50 by 100.
How are you sawing outside in Minnesota, brother?
You know what? I've done it for a lot of years, and I'm sure once I get my building built, I'm going to kick myself and say I should have done this 20 years ago. But it just comes down to money, and I don't really like.
I know a guy that runs a sawmill that can help you out with some lumber, get the frame up. Hey, we just added.
Yeah, it comes down to, it's funny because it's like when you have the time, you don't have the money to do something, and when you have the money, you don't have the time to do it. So it's just kind of one of those things.
Yeah, we just added 30 by 60 onto our building to turn this mill a long ways and stretch it out. And like I say, it's a big expense, big time. Last month cost me 2 weeks. A week sitting waiting on concrete, and then a week I hired 2 guys to come in and help Matthew, and we framed it up. It costs money to expand. And we won't get it finished maybe before Christmas, but it's in the dry, you just have to take it in stages. Do what you can pay for.
Yep.
Well, see, Kendall's building a building because he has to heat it. You're building a building so you can air condition it.
If you ever see AC in this building, we're making good money.
Yeah, we gonna hit the lottery if we got air conditioning.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever heat it, but we'll be in out of the wind and the snow and the rain and the sun.
That's the biggest thing, getting out of the rain and the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we work a lot of rainy days that probably give you a fit. It still sucks, you have to go out in the tractor, deal with the mud and all this, but you're still working in the dry. You're still more productive. Once you do it, you won't regret it. You'll kick your butt for not doing it 20 years ago.
I know. Believe me, there's been a few things that I just wondered. You do them and you're like, man, I should have done this years ago. But I don't like to borrow money a lot, so I'm pretty conservative on that. So I always figure if I don't have payments, then if things slow down, then it's not the end of the world.
There's certain things I'll borrow money for. We run a sawmill business. If I got to have a sawmill, I got to have a sawmill. But I don't have to have a brand new truck. I don't have to have a crew of 15 guys come out here and build me $100,000, $200,000 addition. We can do it on a budget and do it in the spare time when we can afford to pay for it. This year, I traded dump trucks. I bought another dump truck. I didn't need a new one. I bought a good used one. Matthew's got a shop truck. We didn't buy a new one. We bought a good used one. Yeah, spend your money, spend it wisely.
And if you watch our channel, there's 10 or 15 Facebook Marketplace videos because every day we're both on it just looking.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got one coming out. I bought another piece of equipment. Found a smoking hot deal. It fit right in your budget. And the video will be out here next week or so. Facebook Marketplace bites me in the butt again.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I could go out and buy one piece of equipment and put myself head over heels in debt, and then I can't do anything else but service that debt. And that'd be my advice to anybody starting out sawmilling. I know you're going to have to buy your meal. Once you buy your meal, make that meal pay for itself and make that meal buy your next piece of equipment, your next thing. Don't go out and go in debt. Nobody's going to start a sawmill next to you, next to me, and make money day one. It takes years.
Let's ask that question to our audience. How many of you out there that have sawmills have a building over it?
Yeah. How many of you that actually cut wood and put a building over it?
I wish I could raise my hand.
I know that northern boys do. Rick, Tim, Paul. If they didn't have a building,
we wouldn't be out there.
Yeah, 6 months out the year.
Same thing with John.
It's hard.
That wind is up around Illinois gets 30 mile an hour at 15 below. You'd go to the house, wouldn't you?
John gets a lot of wind.
No. I'm milling.
I'm not.
I wouldn't be.
I'm milling. But I mean, that's why I have a barn on the west side of my sawmill and a cover over the top of it. Wind blows from the west, and I can't be out there in that when it is 30 below,
No,
and it's blowing.
I don't mind the cold weather. Despise the cold, wet rain, and that's what we get in the south. It's 33, 34 degrees and 30-mile-an-hour wind, and it cuts through you like a knife.
That's the day. If you're not starving, go to the house.
Yeah, we'll work inside this room and turn the heat on.
Yeah.
Do some motor planing or something.
If we get days that don't really get above zero, if it's 10, if the high is 5 or 10 below, a lot of times either we're doing maintenance inside or I'm just not. We're not going to saw that day if we can afford not to.
No bucket tarp does not count.
Well, it covers
we
your
only have
head.
one
It
pole
keeps
at a
you out of the
time.
sun, keeps you out of the rain. Why wouldn't it?
True.
Now, speaking of those super cold days, do you find the wood harder to cut versus a modest, warm summer day?
Frozen wood.
Well, in the winter, popple and basswood cut phenomenally. And then on the flip side, in the summer, like red oak cuts really nice.
Yeah.
But in the winter, red oak is terrible. When it's really cold, the logs are frozen up real hard. It's hard on blades.
Yeah, we don't even cut white oak in the wintertime.
Kyle will get these people who want to buy white oak from me in January. And I'll be like, well, tell them I'll work on it in March when it starts to warm up.
Well, we don't get that much cold weather, but last winter we did have some 10 degree stretch. It lasted about a week, and we was trying to saw frozen poplar, and poplar is just full of water anyway, and it would not saw for nothing. It was just chasing that water grain through the wood. Now you take thawed out poplar, saws like butter, but frozen poplar, I probably could have switched to a different blade, went to a less aggressive, like 4 degree, and probably got through it. But if it's that cold, I just refuse. We're not going to saw it till the weather warms up. It thaws till the water unfreezes in that poplar log.
Yeah.
Now, one of my favorite woods to saw is white pine,
See that, Andy?
and I have sawn white pine. Tim and I have sawn white pine in the wintertime that the boards literally froze back together after the blade passed through, and we couldn't get it apart.
That's a good excuse to go to the house, Tim.
Yep, I've done that.
No, he works me like a slave, Eric. Once he gets me out there, that's it.
I don't saw much white
He
pine
works
when it
me
gets
good.
cold in winter too, because it actually pitches up my blades and my wheels. They just get totally coated in pitch, and then you're
Yeah.
then you're stuck.
Springtime.
Oh, there you go.
You can
Springtime.
do about it because you've got 3 or 4 months of that.
Yeah, we have probably end of December. The logs usually finally they lock up where they finally freeze all the way, and then it's really probably that. It depends in March. It depends on how cold it is in March, but basically from January and February, and then into March, usually at least the middle of March. I count on the logs being froze solid.
Wow.
And so then it limits what I saw.
Do you see any dimensional change of wood that you saw that was frozen when it thaws out? Have you noticed that it grew or shrunk or anything?
You guys are.
That's a good question. I don't think so. I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of my stuff, like the skids we built, the wood, it goes from log to pallet to customer in less than a week.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sit around long enough for me to see if it shrinks. when it thaws out.
That's your good
Well,
video.
you guys had a
this
question
winter
about
for coming up.
sawdust too, right?
Yeah.
Sawdust on the boards.
Have you
Was
noticed
there
any difference in, let's say, white pine for when it was cut? If the log was cut down in, say, winter versus fall or summer?
Well, winter cut's better. There's a lot less sap in it.
That's what I was thinking. Less pitch buildup, yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
we
can
cut
get-
ours
I-
during the winter.
Yeah, a lot of guys, they cut white pine in the spring, and I mean, I even noticed it in this, like the summer. I got some that was cut early enough, and so it doesn't blue stain nearly as much. But if you get the stuff that's cut later in the spring where things have thawed out and the pitch is running, then they blue stain a lot faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get around here. We'll have a white spruce. If you cut it in the summertime, it'll just bleed buckets of sap.
Huh.
Yeah, bucketfuls of sap out of it.
We get even the white pine here, even if it's been winter cut, but in the spring, when things thaw out, the guys call it the running of the sap.
Yep.
The boards are sticky, the butt is all full of goo, everything you touch, your hands and your shirt, pants, everything is just got that pitch on
Something
it.
good for that is automatic transmission fluid. Just
Yeah.
a little bit of that will cut through that sap really quick.
Yeah, those sap,
That's what we use to clean up our mill at the end of the day is ATF.
yeah, those white pine logs, like I say,
Absolutely.
runs on the end. And if you got at least a little bit of dirt, and you bump that log up against a dirt pile, the whole end of that log, basically have to take a chainsaw and cut it off unless you want to saw through all that grit.
Right.
So then you should probably use ATF for a drip then, huh? To keep it blade
Nope.
clean.
If it was a little cheaper, yes.
Why not?
Are you
Diesel
pretty
is cheaper
sure?
than ATF.
I can get 5 gallons of diesel for $25. A 5-gallon bucket of ATF costs me $120.
Yeah.
I get it free.
And diesel does a pretty good job. It really does.
We like to say our wood miser's got the lube miser. We use less than 3 or 4 gallons a week. It's not like we're using a lot. That way we use water and Dawn. I'd use 10, 15 gallons of water a day. And if you've ever made a Dawn and water mix, it's $8 for a little jug of Dawn, and you get 20 gallons, and you're spending another $8.
I did that once. I think that works. Pure butter, I think that works, actually. I remember as a young lad, I had sap on my hand, and someone told me about the butter trick. And
Never tried it.
Nope.
It had to be a grandparent, I'm sure.
wait a minute now. We better be careful. Someone might be trolling us and having us rubbing butter all over the place.
Flies just
That sounds like a
swarming them,
good
and he
video
hates
for
butter.
K&J Lumber to test out for everybody.
On the next video.
Yeah.
Sawbuck says he just
So-
switched over to diesel.
Now, do you guys do any local advertising? I know
Uh-oh.
homeowners,
Sorry, I lost you.
woodworkers, different things to try to market your product beyond your normal people.
Where'd he go?
I got him.
Say it again, Eric.
Do y'all do any local marketing to try to sell your finished products to consumers beyond what you already established with your local mills and different things?
Yeah, we do. It's a little. We're always constantly running Google ads.
Yeah.
We used to deposit in the summer. Now we just run it all year round. And then also been experimenting with a little bit of Facebook ads, which is not so bad. Facebook ads are okay.
Yeah, but
Google
that's-
ads are the best because I can target people that are looking for the product that I want to sell, and that are actively looking for, not just sprinkling an ad or sprinkling our company everywhere to even to people that don't even want to buy lumber. So it's, and I think our YouTube channel is probably the best marketer of lumber because not only does it get it usually everywhere, I can really use keywords to target local business, local customers as well. Using hashtags and keywords that show up in local markets.
We know that 50% of our marketing works.
We
We just haven't figured out what 50% that is.
Yeah. Do you utilize Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah, Kyle does quite a bit.
That's probably the best marketing tool for free in America right now. Now I do get a lot of business from Google, but I don't pay Google for ads. I get a lot of business from Facebook because I post a lot of things on Facebook, but I don't pay for Facebook ads. I have in the past, and I really didn't see any, return on the investment.
Yeah.
YouTube, we do some business. YouTube, I get people, close by, as well as I've got some several hours away that come to me because of our YouTube channel. But Facebook Marketplace, by far, if you keep, 6, 8, 10 ads on there and keep them fresh constantly, in inventory, out of inventory, whatever, because, you sell out of things. I figure out of the hundreds of messages I get every month, about 25 to 30% of them turn into a sale. A lot of them are just price shopping.
We love Facebook Marketplace because we get 100 responses and 99 of them are, is this available?
Yeah.
The second question is it kiln dried?
Well, if they mark, is it available? I say yes, and they get my phone number, and then right underneath it, there'll be a link to my YouTube channel. If they never call back, I can't help that.
Yeah.
If you text me, and I sent you my phone number, and you text me twice more, the next thing's gonna say, call me to discuss.
You got a lot more patience than we do.
There, yeah. I know a lot of them are just other sawyers trying to price shop, see what they ought to be charging for their product. I can't help that.
Yeah.
If I give you my phone number, that's your invitation to call me, and we'll have a conversation. And within 2 minutes, I'll know more about you than I would a day texting back and forth. And I can answer your questions. I'm not a keyboard warrior. I'm not going to sit there on my phone for a half hour. We're going to have communication. We'll figure out what we need. I'll write some notes. You come visit, whatever, and we're doing business or we're not, one or the other. Yeah.
But he's that way with everybody. If you text him more than twice, you get the phone call.
I don't mind texting, but if we're beyond 2 texts, let's have a conversation. Call me and let's have a conversation. In a minute or two, we can solve 30 minutes of texting back and forth, and we're done.
Well, I suppose you guys got, if anybody in chat has any more questions for us before we take off here, we're going to be shutting her down. I don't know how long you guys go, but
we go to 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Have you ever, you can also sell on, that was why I did the fourth wall through YouTube. You can also sell on fourth wall. And you can just put in there that you don't ship.
I mean, you can put up a Google website, or, I have a website for our hats. And if I had time and 2 of me, I could take these little walnut blanks. They'll sell. People will buy that for pen blanks, different things. I just don't have time to trip over pennies to make, trip over dollars to make pennies.
Yeah, it's just another place you can sell.
Matthew to go around. Yeah, we don't have a Kyle. A marketing genius.
We've tried to get one. He just doesn't want to quit his job to help us.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle certainly has some very interesting videos popping out there. Many of you guys out there aren't subscribed to K&J Lumber's YouTube channel. Make sure you check it out.
Yep.
I find Kyle very entertaining.
Now, when you going to let him start,
And informative.
you going to put him on the sawmill and let him start sawing?
well, I try to make videos that try to make them less and less boring each time. So
Yeah.
We want to see him sawing on the sawmill. That's what I want to see him cutting lumber on the
I
sawmill.
mean, that's what I wanted to start with. That's what I wanted to start with, but in the beginning, it was nobody ever watches those videos. And now I got our YouTube algorithm trained on lumber education, which is a good thing because it all depends on what you're trying to sell, right? So all of our videos are really advertisements in disguise as contents, as education. And so if we did sawmill videos, we would be getting more and more customers that want us to cut rough sawn lumber for sawmill, for whatever it is out there, which is fine. But we don't really need more customers for that. We need more customers that want to buy our kiln dried lumber.
Yeah.
So that's why I am. That's kind of what I try to angle these videos towards, is the kiln dried lumber woodworker. People that are making things, interior. Obviously, the exterior wood products stuff have been popping off, which is fine. But a lot of those people also do interior stuff. So you're going to see me trying to figure out angles to these videos where we're going to try to sell the kiln dried lumber and try to angle the videos geared towards that customer that wants to buy kiln dried lumber.
Yeah.
We just want to see. We just want to see.
180 degrees from what I do. None of our videos are scripted. I very seldom write anything down unless I'm wanting to cover a couple topics. I might do a bullet point. Matthew knows we won't film a video that we don't consider interesting to us, because most of our videos are centered around sawmilling, kiln drying, molder planing, doing different things. And if I'm not happy about what we're doing, there's no point in making a video, because that comes through that, I'm sitting here spinning my wheels. So most of our videos are something that animates me or Matthew. And some of our best videos is, he's seen a log out there in the yard. If that thing's unique, you need to do a video, and then we do. And it's just, something way unusual. We got one coming out. We saw the log a week or so back, red oak log. It was a big bow, about 24 inches, 12-foot long. Contractor brought it. He wanted 6 by as wide as we could get mantelpiece. And that thing, the whole side of that log where it was bowed was a burl. One of the prettiest red oak logs I've ever seen. I challenge you to watch that video when it comes out. It's one of the most beautiful red oak logs we've ever saw. And that animates me more than anything, because that's 1 in a million. You just don't see them every day.
Well, there's something about that reminds me of one of the main reasons why YouTube channels struggle in the first place, because they have content that could possibly be interesting. It's all about the way you present it. If you look at a lot of the videos that I do, it's all story based.
Yeah.
I'm essentially telling stories about the product or the topic or the issue at hand. Because
if you're bored with it, it'll show through in the video. So you want to make sure you're not bored.
Well, yeah, and people resonate with stories. We've been telling stories over the campfire for centuries, ever since for thousands of years. So we've been telling stories, and if you take and then the story of the log that Matthew found in the yard. And then there's, you got a curiosity loop. What does the wood look like inside? I don't know. We're going to find out. And then the story of you putting it on the mill, taking the first cut. Oh, no, there's a problem. Something happened with the blade. Now we got to replace the blade here. And then,
you should go on the Discovery Channel. That's exactly what they do.
Yeah. So if you start studying these storytelling frameworks, like the 3-act story structure, the Dan Harmon's story circle, Freytag's pyramid. These are all story structures that Hollywood uses and that we could utilize in our videos to help with retention and help build our channels in a way that is useful to our audience members.
YouTube is an art, and a lot of people fail because they don't put enough time and effort into making their videos. And I'm a YouTube consumer. That's all I watch on TV. There may be a few TV shows here or there I'll pick up, but 95% of what I watch is YouTube videos. And I can watch somebody's channel in just a couple minutes and tell you that I won't be back. One, they don't talk. If you're afraid to talk, don't be on YouTube. I don't want to watch a 45-minute video with not a word said. It's just, I like personalities. And if I like your personality,
I may dislike the video you produced this week, but I want to see what she's doing, so I watched it anyway. You know,
Yeah.
just like this summer,
Well-
we had my oldest boy, Michael, who had his son working with us, Henry. He's 9 years old, and we was down here sawing one day, wasn't filming, and he expressed some interest about running sawmill.
should
So
swear.
I let him saw a board or two.
They swear in it and get it taken down.
We got a video coming out where he sawed an entire log on this LT70 by himself with me standing there at 9 years old. Now, I'll probably get some haters that y'all, you know, he's sitting right here on this stool behind me, and I'm standing beside him. He's learning a skill, and he's better at it. He was better in the first 5 minutes than I was in the first 48 hours. Okay.
Well, what we've learned is that people's attention span is about as short as a inchworm. People don't like that. I don't know what it is, but they don't like to sit down and watch a whole video. They'll fast forward through it. I don't know. Any of you other guys come up with that?
Oh, yeah.
We need people to do that.
I watch, like I say, I watch a lot of videos, and I like watching people move dirt more so than sawmilling because I sawmill every day. And you'll get a guy that he'll throw a time lapse up there, and it's 15 minutes with him with a bulldozer going back and forth. And I'm like, dude, you got to do more than this, and fast forward. You know, if you want to show that, maybe talk over top of it for 15 minutes while you're doing that. But just for me to sit there and watch it in high speed go back and forth, no, that gets boring real quick.
Well, I think
Kyle's
Kyle's
exactly
on.
right. You
I
need
think
to tell
Kyle's
a
on
story.
some, yeah. Because if you fast forward through Kyle's videos, you're going to miss something.
Yeah. Well, most of us tune in because we're entertained, we're educated, and we like the person or the channel's personality. And not every video is an A plus. Sometimes you make a D minus video, but people still tune in because you're the personality. You're there. You're the reason they come. I watch some farming channels, and when they're not farming, a lot of their videos are pretty boring. But I still like keeping up with the family aspect. They're showing their mom, their dad, their kids, whatever. You begin to think you're part of their family. If you ever meet them, you got to remember, they don't know me. I know them because I've watched them on TV for years.
I'd actually like to see a couple of close-up mechanics of your sawmill, Kendall. I'd like to see the blade and the sawmill itself. You don't see sawmills like that every day.
Yeah, we probably it's been quite a while since we posted anything real close up on the mill, hasn't it, Kyle?
Well,
You
I
have a
mean,
sweat.
it's all proprietary secrets. We can't let China get to it. So, hush,
You got a swedge. You got a swedge tooth blade, right?
Correct. Yep.
That's
6 inch
interesting
wide,
in
double
itself.
cut.
That's interesting to me in itself. I wish we could get swedge tooth blades into smaller blades.
Yeah, my saw blade guy he was perplexing over it. Said, man, I wish you could get a swedge tooth for like a 1 3/4 or whatever. The swedge pulls out the sawdust so much better than the offset tooth. I mean, my boards come out clean.
That was one of the questions earlier.
That's amazing. Do you ever have any problem on that back cut? Is it wanting to walk off the rollers, or are you just tremendous amount of tension on them?
No, the wheels. There's tension on the blade that hold the blade on the wheels. There's no rollers or anything holding that blade on other than the tension in the blade and the crown. And there's a minute crown on the wheels, but the blade really only runs on the outside like 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch of my 4.5 inch wide wheels. The center shouldn't be touching. If it is, then you've got wear on your wheels. In fact, this last week we swapped a wheel out. I've got an extra set of wheels.
You have
So
any
that when I
idea
have
how much stretch that you're putting on that blade?
We run it at 450 pounds pressure.
Oh my God! Yeah,
On
you're
that
at
band.
5,000 psi stretch. Yeah, this wood miser behind me, we run 110 psi, and I put my strain gauge on it, and that's around 38,000 psi stretch. So you're pushing 80,000 pounds of stretch on that thing. That's why they stay on there. But you're running cast iron rollers and not rubber belts like this one.
They're steel wheels. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The wheels are 300 pounds a piece about.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like I said, they've got just a slight crown on them, and when you pull that stretch, it's actually pulling that crown of that blade down. And if you knock it off there, you've got to hit something real hard.
Yeah, I have never done it, but my guys have, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Only
Let me
one
ask you a
though. I had
question.
one guy. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish.
I had one guy who he cut one. I got vertical posts that go up and down, and there's with wood misers similar. Like you've just got to watch. You can't. There's no like safety mechanism that like if you go this high, then your post goes down. Like no, you control the post, and you control the mill. And he loved to saw fast, which is great and all, except for when you're too fast. But he literally sawed through a 2-inch post, quarter-inch wall. And I looked at him and I said, I've seen a lot of things, but I've never seen this.
Yeah, that's one of my complaints with wood miser at this price point. That blade should know where this clamp is at as well as this clamp. And if there's an interference, it ought to be a dummy light that says, "Hey, dummy." The mill knows where it's at in space and time. You could easily make that clamp know where it's at in space and time, and they communicate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but I just, having dealt with set works and stuff, there's just so much debris and junk getting in the way and causing problems that I think the maintenance on that would be pretty easy to ignore, and then it would not work.
What's your base cut? When you cut a log, what's your last board?
Last cut I can go down to is like, I don't like going below 1 1/8, but I can go to 1 inch. My blocks are like 3/4 of an inch high.
I can do 1 inch, but that outside clamp, and I'm sitting so far away from it, most of the time I'll saw down to 5 or 6 boards and I'll leave them sitting there. And when I make that last cut, I'll get halfway in and I'll pull that clamp down and just saw right across the top of it. Because I'm so far away from it, I can't see that 1/4 inch to see if I'm a quarter too high or a quarter too low.
Yeah.
And
we do the same thing.
Missed it. The time or two.
Once you get down to that bottom cut, if you got boards on top or runners, you can pull it down all the way, and the weight of it just holds it in there. You can cut through it because it's such a low angle.
Yeah, like I say, I'll hold it clamped until I get the head rig in it, and as soon as I get in it a little bit, I'll pull that outer clamp down and just saw right across it. And if it bows up, it was a worthless board anyway. Throw it away.
Yeah.
Or make pallet lumber out of it.
All right, so one last question for me on your swedge tooth blades. Does that have to be swedged each time you sharpen it, or can you sharpen it a couple times before it's swedged again?
Well, when I used to do all the swedging, shaping, and sharpening, I would swedge every other sharpening unless, I hit something or, really didn't have. But I think the guy who I do it now, he swedge shapes every time, and his teeth are they're just beautiful.
Yeah.
They're so much better than anything I ever did, by myself. So
How many life cycles do you think you get out of one of your bands? Taking good care
one
of
of my bands, it's hard to keep track of the sharpenings, but I figure I get about 50,000 feet out of a band before
You're
it's
doing
too
much better
narrow.
than these portable mills. I normally see
But my
12,
my
15,
blades cost
14.
10 times as much as yours.
Yeah. Well, we're running a 55 thousandths. You're running what thickness?
18 gauge. I can't remember off the top of my head what the thickness is.
Yeah, it's pretty thick.
64,000.
But yeah, if I can get three good uses out of one of their blades, You know, I'm upwards of 4,000 or 5,000 board feet. If I hadn't paid for a blade by then, I'm doing something way wrong.
Yeah.
You know. Now, when I
If
was
we get
local-
50,000, I'm doing really. My blades are about $335 a piece now, so
yeah,
if
you're
you get
about
50,000, you're doing fine.
yeah. I mean, that's a cost of doing business. That's what I try to tell people when they're starting. Put your money in blades, saw quality product. If you put a blade on there and it saws like crap, take it off. Don't keep sawing it. Take it off. It ain't going to get no better.
Yeah.
I did the same thing, made the same mistake, starting out trying to saw way too much, sawing crappy wood. But it takes money to maintain blades and have enough blades to where if you put one on there and it ain't right, take it off, put another on, go back to saw. And now
Blades cost me.
Yeah.
Blades
we run
cost me
enough lumber that I figure 3 good sharpenings, maybe 4. I've made enough money, move that thing out of here. It's already starting to lose temper. It's starting to wander, wave. They're not going to last forever.
Yeah. Yep. For me, the blades, the narrower the blades get, the nicer they saw. They last longer when they're skinny. But for us, it's 7% of my cost is in, or my revenue is blades. It's about 7% every year.
Wow. See you later, Starbucks. Good night to you, brother.
But that's your business. You don't want to saw crappy wood. If you're fighting that blade, you got a man out there, he's sawing half speed because he's got a dull blade. Take that stick thing off, put a sharp blade on, and let's go to saw it. You know, let's make some lumber. You know, I want to saw fast as possible, as good a quality as possible.
I always try and instill my guys like, my customers don't want to buy crap. They don't want to buy junk. They want to buy a good quality product. So if you're having problems with that blade, take it off and put a sharp one on, please.
Yeah.
Better for the blade.
Yeah, if I wouldn't put that board on the side of my house because it's so crappy looking, I'm not going to give it to a customer. You know, we've all made mistakes. I've sawed a customer's log and it looked like crap. Throw the whole log away, go out there and get one of my good ones out of the pile or replace it and saw them quality lumber that they can take something home that I'm proud of, that they'd be proud of.
Yeah.
That's the service we're selling. You're selling, I'm selling, and all these other guys selling the same service. Is producing a quality product day after day. I tell people I can't help what the wood does when it dries. You take it home, you leave it sitting out in the sunshine, it cracks and splits. I said, I can't help that. But when they left here, it was solid, dimensionally accurate. It was flat, straight, like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Kendall, I would like to see a video, Kyle. I'd like to see a video on a blade being swedged and sharpened.
Yes,
even if it's just a short video. That'd be very interesting.
Oh boy.
That'd be cool.
We'll see if we can work it out. I don't sharpen much anymore because I got a guy who does it.
I've actually tried in the beginning. I've actually tried to have the people that sharpen our blades. I've actually asked them if I can come in and film them sharpening, but they're so camera shy that even the thought of being on camera scares the crap out of them.
It's not their camera shy. It's all that black ops stuff. They don't want you to see. They don't want you to know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, China. Yeah, they don't want China to know how to sharpen them blades.
Hey,
I find that
top secret.
You'll have
I find
a
that swedge blade. I find that swedge blade very interesting.
Somebody lets you watch them hand hammer a circle saw mill. That's such a black art to it. They're not going to let you video that. And if I did it, I would.
Here's the question: how many people have swedged and shaped blades that are going to learn from that? So I mean,
yeah,
is it what I'll get 10 views and then there goes video.
I'll watch it 100 times.
Watch it. You have to watch it 10 times on one channel, and then get a new account and keep doing it over and over again. I think they only count the first 3 views.
You got at least 10 friends and family that'll watch it, so you're good.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I used to have a big commercial circle mill, and I had to swedge the teeth on that blade once in a while when I sharpened them. And I'm very interested in the swedging of a band mill blade. I wish I could get swedge blades for my mill.
Yeah. My tooth spacing on mine is a lot farther. I think mine's 1 3/4.
Right.
19 foot 4-inch band, and I want to say it's 220 teeth or somewhere around there. It's a lot less teeth compared to them offsets.
I bet that does cost you a pretty penny to have it swedged and sharpened, because man ain't gonna sharpen a 19-foot long blade for a little bit of money.
Both sides too.
Yeah, both sides.
Yeah.
He's right around, I think, $70 to have it swedge shaped and sharpened.
Yeah,
So.
you don't have
So standard or Andy
Bye.
Smith commented, how about a video on original dimensions, dried dimensions, and finished material dimensions?
Did you do something like that?
I like that idea. Is there any other ideas for videos that you guys would like to see in the chat? Type them in the chat. We'd love to hear from you guys. We'd love to be able to make the videos that you want to see.
Yeah.
We want to see a sawmill video you saw with your Mario outfit on.
I do have one. I do have that.
Hey, your Google eyes fell off the mill, by the way. Did you know that?
I did notice that. I thought you guys ripped them off. We put googly eyes on our mill and then did the Jurassic Park trend, and I got like 20 views. And I thought it would do better. I thought it'd be funnier, but I guess nobody thought it was funny.
Too late. You missed the window.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's just boring now. I guess.
I don't do trends. I got too much work to do to worry about what's trending.
Right. See, right there's your
Pretty good.
idea.
That's a pretty darn good Mario outfit.
There you go, bud. Yeah.
Boy, look at that.
It looked good out there on a minus 30-degree day sawmilling.
It was actually like in October when it was like raining sleet, and here in Minnesota, and it's always a miracle if it's not snowing by
Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do a trunk
Yeah.
or treat for church and Halloween, and it's like last couple of years have been not nice.
I watch a guy in Minnesota does farming. If I told you his name, everybody know him. But when they harvest their corn, the fields are wet and muddy, and they're waiting for that first hard freeze, and they're out in the field.
Yeah.
They want to combine their corn with the field frozen, so they're not rutting it up. I'm like, well, that's a different world than we live in.
All right, guys, we've hit that 10 o'clock mark. Actually, we've gone past it. Kyle, Kendall, we appreciate you coming on the show, and especially on short notice. And you
Yes,
guys
thank
are
you,
more
guys.
than welcome. You guys are more than welcome to come back anytime you want. Just give one of us a holler and say, hey, we'd like to come on for a while or whatever you want to do.
Sure. Well, thanks for having us.
Yep.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, much appreciated.
Enjoyed it.
And we appreciate everybody's tuned in. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Everybody have a good remainder of the weekend. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you catch us next month on the third Saturday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will all be back here again for the Sawmill and Forestry Roundtable. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Kyle, Kendall, just sit tight a minute.
We want to thank everybody for stopping by the show tonight. And remember, it's the third Saturday of every month that we all gather and are on the show. See you later, guys.